is Zeba Ayaz I'm introducing here. She is the ICT coordinator and head of Atal Tinkering Lab in Rabia Girls Public School. And she has many feathers in her cap. She's a certified Adobe Creative Educator, level 1 and level 2 both. She has been Microsoft Innovative Expert and Wakelet community member also. She's a certified cyber forensic expert, and she is AICTE certified school innovation ambassador. And she's well versed in hybrid education, certified from Microsoft Hybrid Education as a Microsoft Hybrid Educator. And she will be right now discussing about the ways of educating the academicians about the use of digital and artificial intelligence, how it should go about in schools, and the importance of coding and artificial intelligence in practical use.
Thank you, David, sir. With a beautiful quote, I'm going to start with the session. That is, educational technology is a powerful tool in creating life-changing teaching and learning experience. So thank you, EduSoft, once again for giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak about my area of subject. So today I'm going to discuss about why AI and coding is important and what is its practical use in school education. So from morning to night, we are surrounded by computers and can't imagine ourselves without it. Online games and puzzles have replaced our old board games, and OTT has changed our entertainment consuming habits. Pandemic has changed a lot of existing jobs and created a lot of new jobs that we have never thought will ever exist. The coming age is going to be completely dynamic, and our current curriculum was not enough to prepare our students for the coming market. So the NEP has introduced the coding at a very young age, from class 1 to 12. So they enhance the exposure to technology and create a path to a new world of innovation and creativity. Technology thinkers and educators believe that coding is a game changer, and new generation will use analytic thinking to solve the problem. So it will help in developing skills in deal with problems, whether it is maths, science, or humanities, and will be ready for the future job. So why coding is important? Coding is important in various aspects. So I'm discussing here the various aspects of coding. Coding enhances entrepreneurial skills. How? Coding helps in developing the idea, which leads the creative and analytic thinking process. It helps in preparing the kids to become future entrepreneurs. Coding makes foundation. How coding makes foundation for the very early age of the kids? They can adapt to anything and can learn anything. It is the best time to introduce coding to them because of their grabbing and learning power. Introducing coding at a very early age, they can focus and learn in same as they learn other foundational subjects and make future ready. Coding also offers you the ability to create and innovate. How? It allows creating a mindful of ideas and uses their imagination to create any programming and software through imagination and creativity. It brings innovations to personal and personalized professional life and ability to give jobs. Coding also enhances problem-solving skills. Detecting problems and issuing issues and breaking them into different aspects for best solution is one of the elements of coding. Children and students will find out how to systematically solve problems. In case of a problem, computer programmers have to test various codes before finding the solution. Not only does coding teach students how to approach a problem with logic, but also teaches them patience and persistence. Coding promotes logical and analytic abilities. Coding demands the students use strategies to decide which formulas they need to apply to get to the solution. That is, it motivates algorithm thinking. Not only will their coding skills improve with time, but their math skills also be enhanced. Consequently, students can show better results in other tests as well. So artificial intelligence in education nowadays have become a hot topic because it changed how we learn quickly. So what does this mean for children? Is there is any shift for the children due to AI incorporated into their learning process? AI in education has a potential to be a game changer for every child. Many schools are already using AI across the country, and you must know how AI can benefit your child. So, so before I concluding, like the AI also taking care of the career opportunities. The how it will take care for the opportunities. What kinds of career opportunities are there when the students get this AI in a school education in the very early stage. So this kind of programs in the schools let the students who want to acquire the ability to design intelligent solutions to problem in a variety of domains and business application and fields such as natural language processing, text mining, robotics, reasoning, and problem solving. So what kind of students looking for? Might be some have this question, what kind of students will the major focus area of the students are what? So the major focus of this AI is to equip students with statistical, mathematical reasoning, machine learning, knowledge discovery, and visualization skills. By this course, the student will gain cross-disciplinary skills across fields such as statistics, computer science, machine learning, and logic. Data scientists and may have career opportunity with exceptional prospective fields and challenging roles in the futuristic industries in the arena of healthcare, business, e-commerce, social networking companies, climatology, biotechnology, genetics, and other major areas. So, so AI will also benefit who are always concerned about their children's social life. AI technologies allows them to monitor their child interaction online more closely than ever before. Schools use software that analyze data such as how well different students comprehend materials. Then group kids accordingly based on what they need. AI brings the ability to have 24 hours access to teachers and lessons anytime, anywhere. So AI can be used as an educational tool that guides students towards their goals by providing personalized feedback on homework, quiz, etc. based on AI algorithms. For that note, I am finishing my point of notes. I will request Mr. David to take the session forward.
Well, thank you, Zeba ma'am. So, friends, we had here Zeba ma'am talking about the importance of coding and artificial intelligence. So, what we discovered from what she spoke is how coding is going to change the life of the kids, how NEP has incorporated the importance of coding as the basic principles in NEP, and how CBSE is pushing forward as a very important aspect this coding. Then artificial intelligence, how artificial intelligence is going to change the future of the child. So these two things Zeba ma'am talked about. Now, as you know, the topic of this discussion is artificial intelligence and coding a guidance talk. So basically, what kind of guidance schools and teachers need, we will talk about that. I will discuss with that. We can have a little interaction also later on where we can have your questions and we can answer your questions. So first of all, I just lay the foundation about it. I'll talk about the schools first. The schools which are actually planning to take up coding and AI as a major course. CBSE has suggested that it should be started at a very early age, like from class 3 onwards or even class 1. CBSE is saying that we should give them some little hang of coding, not exactly coding. The little children can be taught about the skills behind the coding, like stepwise thinking. So in the curriculum, stepwise thinking can be incorporated for small kids. There are many free software which allow the kids to play game on that and to solve a problem by thinking in steps. So those kind of games can be incorporated, like Edusoft books are doing that. So at that early age, students can be involved into those skill development parts so that they get ready for the future study about coding. Actual serious coding begins from class 8 onwards, of course. But before that, class 3 to 7, kids can be given in little bit stepwise manner about basic skills of coding. Then we can move into the softwares like Scratch, Kodu Game Lab, and Kidlo Coding Game Lab. All those free softwares can be introduced. We can bring in algorithm and flow chart to teach them how to go about solving a problem, how to go about understanding a problem. So problem understanding, problem goal finalization, stepwise thinking, a little bit of analytical thinking, critical thinking. These kind of skills can be developed in the children at the very early age. Their mind is very receptive at that age. So instead of real coding, we prepare them at that level, and of course with some free software. And then as they go up into the class, say class 3, 4, 5, in class 3, 4, 5, and 6, we can bring in Scratch, which is a very popular and very familiar software now for the teachers, which allows the block coding. I'm just taking one example. There are many in the market, but Scratch is most familiar one. So Scratch can be used to introduce the kids with actual programming happening on the computer with the help of dragging and dropping the blocks and thinking in logical way. So when they start thinking in logical way, thinking in a stepwise manner, what should be the sequence of the blocks to perform a particular task, all those things, the skills they have learned in their early age will be helpful here. So earlier they learned about the stepwise thinking. Earlier they learned about what is the importance of sequence of steps in solving a problem. And now they are actually working with the blocks, and it is actually happening on the screen. So kids can see what they are doing and what is the output of it. So they can see the animation happening according to the program they have created, or a simple game is running in Kodu Game Lab according to the program they have created. So this way, in a very interesting fashion, kids can be involved into coding so that they are prepared for serious kind of coding from class 8 onwards. So the journey is like this. Class 1 to 3 is one phase where kids can be taught about basic coding skills. Then 3 to 7, the kids can be taught about actual coding by the help of coding blocks, by the help of 3D environment, that is Kodu Game Lab, and many other such software. MIT App Inventor is there, another software which allows us to create simple and very interesting mobile apps by the help of dragging and dropping the code blocks. So these things can be involved. At this age, students can be given, can be fed upon slowly on the concepts of algorithms and flow charts and pseudocode. So this all can be used to prepare the kid to move into class 8, where now the kid is prepared to understand what actually Python is, what actually Java or C++ or any programming languages. So at this moment, they are at this level, they are actually prepared to take up coding. So this is the scenario of coding. Now, we are already teaching computer science in our schools for many years. That computer science is actually talked about in class 9th, 10th onwards, maybe in class 8. If we go into class 1 to 8, there are many books from many publishers who are now talking about coding and programming. Earlier that wasn't there, but now in recent past 5-6 years, that coding has moved into the books. So that's a good news. As far as a computer teacher is concerned, coding is no big deal for a computer teacher to teach, because they are well trained and they are well experienced and well versed into that. If you ask a teacher to teach Scratch, and even if that teacher does not know Scratch, a teacher will need hardly 3-4 days or a week's time to prepare Scratch and start teaching, because that's a software and that can be easily learned. So a teacher who already knows programming, it's no big deal to introduce programming or coding in the school. So if a school is thinking how to introduce a course in coding in the school, they are already prepared because their teachers are already prepared for coding. Now, there is another aspect. In your regular NCERT curriculum, in your regular educational curriculum, there are many other things other than coding. For example, entire MS Office or Office automation is there. Internet concepts are there. Cyber security and many other related concepts are also involved. When we talk about coding, there are specialized books available now, which are only talking about coding. The kid is not learning about MS Office or those things. Kid is only focusing on coding so that they can move on and just purely they become programmers in future. So that is one branch where you prepare the kid exactly for the coding. Then there is another, there is traditional branch where kids are learning MS Office also. They learn a bit about documentation, digital documentation. They learn about spreadsheets. They learn about digital presentation, databases, and then they learn about coding also. So this is one approach. That is a traditional approach where kids learn both the things. And then the third aspect comes, which is very new, that is artificial intelligence. Now, there are certain myths which I would like to clear here. One is that artificial intelligence is completely different from your traditional coding. A traditional programmer will find artificial intelligence approach a little bit unfamiliar, and there are many things which the programmer has to unlearn and has to relearn to take on with artificial intelligence. What is the reason? The reason behind this coding and artificial intelligence, the difference between them, the reason is their approach. In coding, what we do, in coding, we program the computer to do something, and that's no big deal. You want to make a software to be made for, you want to make a software for the school, a simple fees collection software, or a simple attendance software, or a simple examination performance assessment software that can be developed in any language, or C++, Visual Basic, Python even. So a software can be made. Once the software is installed, the computer is doing that. The computer is using the instructions in the software and doing the tasks, plain and simple. But when we talk about artificial intelligence, things go very different, because artificial intelligence is not expecting the computer to execute certain instructions. Artificial intelligence is expecting the computer to think like a human being. Now that's a completely different level. In coding, you are telling a foolish machine what to do. And in artificial intelligence, we are expecting the same machine to be intelligent. See the contrast. We are programming the computer because it does not know. And we are expecting the same laptop, same computer, same PC, same device to be behaving like in intelligence like a human being. So how could these two different contrast things possible? And the experts and the scientists and the innovators and the AI harbingers, they say, and we see around that this is possible. Things are happening. My watch tells me what is the time. It gives me the reminders. When I go on internet, I get the advertisements. I get to see the advertisements which are only of my interest. When I go on Netflix, it recommends me the movies which I might want to see, and 90% I might. So something intelligent is happening around. If you see around, intelligent devices are already there. And these devices, not the hardware actually, but the software that we call algorithm. Artificial intelligence algorithms are there. Facebook, Google, Amazon, and all big players, they are using this AI for past 5 years in enhancing their business. Number one. Number two, enhancing the experience of the customer on their device, on their website. When we go on the website, many intelligent things happen. And that is because of artificial intelligence. Today, a celebrity can figure what the masses think about him or her by the help of an artificial intelligence algorithm. It will tell him region-wise how many fans are there, how many followers are there, and who hates them, who doesn't, who likes them, who doesn't. So this all is possible through artificial intelligence. Now the question is, if artificial intelligence is so special, why not we build a software around it and install it on the computer? And then computer can do everything. Why so much fuss about having the machine humanly intelligent? The reason is, artificial intelligence actually works on a lot of data. When I say a lot of, it's really lot of. When I say lot of, it is in exabytes. Our hard disk, our external disk and hard disk are hardly in terabytes. I am talking about exabytes of data, and which is continuously coming in. You tell me at this moment, how many people are commenting on Facebook? Can you count? And from how many computers across the world? It's a lot of data. Number one, it is a lot of data. Number two, it is continuous. It's voluminous. It is continuous. It is never stopping. 24 hours, it is there. A lot of data is keep pouring in. It's there, a big ocean of data. Is it possible for a laptop or for a traditional machine to handle this kind of data, this size of data? We call it big data. So when we talk about big data, it is text, sound, animation, audio, video, and constantly coming in and in huge volumes. For a traditional laptop or for a PC or even for a server, it is not possible to handle this much of data. And this is only possible by the help of certain very sophisticated supercomputers, which can be put together. And then when they get that volume of data, they can easily, they have so much speed that they can quickly analyze that data. So that is one difference. Second difference is when we talk about artificial intelligence, we are not talking about programming the machine. We are talking about teaching the machine. We are talking about teaching the machine from the data. So what I do is, suppose I have bought a device, suppose I have an alarm clock, which is I have placed beside my bed in the bedroom, and I wake up daily, and that clock has a sensor, has a visual sensor. It sees me that, okay, every day I get up at 5 o'clock. Now that clock is seeing me getting up at 5:30 approximately for 30 days. Now this is a data of 30 days. 30 figures that clock has that, okay, today, David, on 1st of September, David got up at 5 o'clock. 2nd of September, 5:15. 3rd of September, 5 o'clock. Next day, 4:45, 5:30. So that clock has 30 figures now. On 31st day, David was sleeping. He was not in a mood to get up at 5:30. The clock will automatically play the alarm that, Mr. David, please get up. It's time to get up. You should be up by 5:30. Now, how that clock has come to know, I have taken a very small example. That clock has learned from your behavior. That clock has learned from your routine that Mera Malik, my owner, gets up at 5. For past 30 days, he was following a regime of getting up early. Today, he didn't. Let me remind him. This is one very small example of artificial intelligence. The clock was not programmed. The clock was just programmed to look at the data. Similarly, when you go on website, when you log in, when you are online, most of us are online for an average of 4 to 5 hours daily. So when we are online, when we are on Facebook, Instagram, when we are on Amazon or any e-commerce website, wherever we click, wherever we move on, whatever we navigate, whomsoever we talk to, whomsoever we chat, we put a post, we see the comments, we reply the comments, whatever we do, that all is a huge data, and that is profiling me. From my social data, there is a profile created of David Singh, which websites actually use to know about me. Now a website knows what David likes, what David hates, who are the friends of David, whom David follows, who are the celebrities David is fan of, what all products David has bought in past 1 month. They know everything. And once they know everything, they are programmed to analyze that data. See the difference. In a software, we program the computer to do something. In artificial intelligence, we just program the device to look at the data and derive conclusion from the data. See the trends in the data. Which is the most popular ice cream? Which is the most popular food ordered on Zomato? Which is the most popular book ordered? Which is the most popular grocery on Amazon ordered by somebody? This all can be taken out. So if you have a lot of data, or for example, if I give you a spreadsheet of, say, a small data set of 100 records of an ice cream, let's say a burger joint. A burger joint spreadsheet of sales is given to you of past 1 month, 100 records. And if I ask you certain questions, which is the most popular brand they have been selling? which is the least popular? Gender wise, who are the customers who are liking this particular burger? Are the girls liking this particular burger more or the boys? Who all are the customers who also ordered burger along with cold drink? Who are the customers who just order plain burger? All these questions can be answered. You can answer those questions because you have only 100 records. Now, if I give you a spreadsheet which is dynamic, 50,000 records are coming in every second, every day, 24/7 for past 1 month. Is it possible humanly for you to do that? No. Reason is our brain cannot process this much data. A machine can, a supercomputer can. So what these Google and Amazon and Microsoft, what they have done is they have created some huge data servers and they call it cloud. On those huge data servers, the machines are programmed to look at this huge data which is there on internet, and they derive conclusions out of that data. Those conclusions are given to the businesses. Those conclusions are given to the strategists. Those conclusions are given to the data analysts. Those conclusions are given to the statisticians. And very quickly they can figure which product is popular, which product is not being liked about the customers, by the customers, which customer is frequently visiting us. All those questions can be answered in a jiffy, in a second. So a voluminous data, an artificially programmed machine, intelligence programmed machine can look at the data, derive the conclusions, give it to the business owner, and business owner can take business decisions quickly. This is the scenario where artificial intelligence importance is there. Now we come to the question. We have the difference clear. We have computer programming, and now we have the clear understanding of artificial intelligence. Computer programming is input the data, process the data, give the output. Artificial intelligence is input the data, analyze the data. Analyze the data and take out the conclusion. This is one level of AI. Another level of AI, which is called strong AI. Such machines are so intelligent that they look at the data, they analyze the data, and then they create their own rules. Imagine the magic. They create their own rules. And then on the next batch of data, they apply those rules to derive new conclusions. They actually update their algorithms themselves. One example is the driverless car. If a driverless car is moving, driverless car is not familiar with entire route, entire world, or all the roads. As the driverless car will move in, it will capture the visual data, and using that data, it will train itself to deal with any unfamiliar terrain. So there are companies. Tesla is there, like Shikha ma'am has reminded here. Tesla is one example, one intelligent example for that. So these kind of machines are being developed where machines learn themselves. So first of all, in artificial intelligence, what we do, we teach the machine. That is called supervised learning. We teach the machine like a child. And then when that child grows up, when that machine is intelligent enough, we leave it alone. We just give it the data and we do not tell it what to do with the data. We leave the machine alone with the data and let it figure out what to do with the data. What is the data talking about? What is the story being told by the data? What are the rules derived out from the data? This all when machine is deciding on its own, that is unsupervised learning. It is like a child being taught, and now that person is in the college doing PhD. So at college level and at PhD level, we learn on our own. In school, it is supervised learning. Similarly, in artificial intelligence. So we come back to the question, how schools prepare themselves for this kind of course. In teaching artificial intelligence, the number one skill which you need is not the programming skill. I repeat, not the programming skill. The number one skill you need to teach artificial intelligence is creativity. Why creativity? Because as per the CBSE curriculum, in class 8, it's more of concepts, less of practical, because at that age, students cannot have those skills to program a machine to think like human beings. It's a very complicated scenario. You have to learn a lot of things. You have to learn a lot of logic and algorithms to do that. A child in class 8 is not grown up enough to understand those things. So at that age level, CBSE has suggested that you excite the child into artificial intelligence. You create the hunger in the student about artificial intelligence. You arouse the curiosity about learning about artificial intelligence, so that when a student moves into class 9, 10th, 11th, and 12th, they are prepared to understand the practical aspect of artificial intelligence. So when schools are thinking about introducing artificial intelligence, what they should do is they should first of all realize that artificial intelligence is not coding. I have talked to many schools who are saying that we have introduced artificial intelligence, but sir, there is no practical. How to take the students to lab? The reason is in 99% schools, the same programming teacher is teaching artificial intelligence. Of course, that's obvious. So the teacher who has been teaching programming was in a habit of taking the students in every period to the lab to do some practical. Students are in the habit of learning computers. They are expecting कि ma'am हमको कब lab में लेके जाती है, when the lab is going to start. So this tradition has been very much reinforced in our system. But artificial intelligence is first of all talking about the conceptual part. And when we talk about concepts, there is no lab. Frankly speaking, there is no lab. But that does not mean the course is going to be very boring or there is nothing to do. Only lecture, lecture, and lecture. No, it's not like that. That's why I said the teacher has to be creative. The teacher might be knowing little programming, but has to be more creative. And that's why I said you have to unlearn certain things. You will have to get rid of that traditional approach of lecture, lab, lecture, lab. In artificial intelligence, when a teacher is moving into the class, the teacher should have thoroughly read the chapter beforehand, which is very obvious. And whatever activities are there in the chapter, the teacher should have already practiced and planned about them. No matter where the activity is appearing in the chapter, there might be 2 activities and they are appearing in the middle of the chapter. Does not matter. You always start your class with an activity. And that will only happen when you are prepared. So you don't have to teach artificial intelligence from the book which you have purchased. That book is the reference manual only. You read the chapter. Students may have read it, may not have read it, does not matter. You read the chapter, you prepare the 2 activities which are there in the chapter, maybe 2, maybe 5, doesn't matter. And when you start the class, you do not tell them, I repeat, you do not tell them what you are going to teach them today. Our traditional lesson plan says that first of all, you write on the board the name of the topic and tell the students, okay, students, today we are going to learn about this. No, don't do that. You have to break the chains of certain rules. I'm sorry to say, but you have to go slightly against the policy of the methodology of the teaching. You have to talk in the classroom. You don't have to teach. You talk about artificial intelligence, and not exactly about artificial intelligence also. You talk about that activity which you are going to do. Don't tell the students what you are going to do. What is the purpose of the activity? Reveal it later on. After every activity, there has to be a debriefing. Before every activity, there has to be a briefing, how to go about the activity. Every activity should involve the students. You always have certain volunteers like a magician. Okay, class, we are going to do something very interesting today. Before we start studying, let's do something very interesting. I need 5 boys and 5 girls for this. Who is game today? Let them come. And you involve them in the activity. Do not do it. Your role in the activity has to be of a facilitator. You stand apart, facilitate, give inputs, remote control, but do not involve in the activity. You organize the activity, let the children do it, let them do it, let the other students watch it carefully. And once the activity is over, you debrief. What is your observation? Do not give the answers. You ask them, what was your observation? What did you notice? What did you see? What do you say? Ask the participants of the activity. How was their experience? What is your conclusion? Any idea why we conducted this activity? There are 100 questions. And still, one activity will take around 15, 20 minutes, half of the period. And then you are discussing about the activity, another 10 minutes. Out of 40 minutes, 25, 30 minutes you can easily use on the activity. Then you talk about the chapter. Then you talk what is in the chapter around that activity. And then you move on to the exercise, the assessment part. See, I have not asked you to open the 5 pages of the chapter and read out from it. Don't do that. Do not take it as English literature. English literature, history books have a separate pedagogy. Our computer books have a completely different pedagogy, especially AI. So what you have to do, you have to talk about AI. And you will be able to talk about AI when you have read the chapter thoroughly. Do not do the mistake of going into the classroom without reading the chapter and thinking, okay, I will make the students read the chapter, and as they read, I will impromptu prepare and explain the lecture. That would be, that will simply beat the purpose, and students will get to sleep unless you are exceptionally good and you are their favorite teacher. Well, so what you have to do, I repeat again, go through the entire chapter. Start always with an activity. Maybe you can come up, that's why I said creativity. You can come up with your own activities also. And then you talk about the topic, you discuss the topic. Do not take out the words from the book. And then you give the practical you give the assignment which is given there, going on internet and searching some information. Most of the activities are there where students are supposed to go online, collect some information, do some debate, do some discussion with the teacher, and then they understand the topic. So this entire thing has to be interactive. Entire 30 minutes, it has to be an interaction. It's not one-way lecture. In artificial intelligence, you cannot survive in the classroom with a lecture. There are no lectures. And second aspect, so the schools who are still thinking that we should go about AI or not, well, you can very well go about AI, because AI is the future. It's actually the present now, and it is rapidly moving into the future. So that you have to do. If you're willing for the benefit of the children, you can go for AI. But before going that, you have to have a teacher who is creative. I tell you, programming can be learned, coding can be learned. A teacher might not be knowing Python. You might be having a teacher who knows Java, not Python. Python is a de facto language of AI. That teacher might not be knowing Python, but that teacher can learn Python. But teacher cannot learn creativity at that moment. Teacher has to be creative. And a creative teacher can take AI. So if you have a creative lot of teachers, you can very well go for AI. And then I come to the Python part. In every book, Python has been given in the very end. If you look at the class 9th and 10th book, the Python is given at the very end. What you do is, if it is given in the very end, does not mean that you have to teach in very end. You can bring it parallel. What you can do is, you teach one topic on artificial intelligence. In the next period, next day's period, or next week's period, what you can do, you can introduce them Python basics. So you can take Python and artificial intelligence parallel, so that if students can get to go to the lab at least once in a week, or once in a fortnight, they are going to the lab. They are honing up their skills on Python. They are honing up their skills on flowcharts and algorithms. And in the classroom, they are doing activities, talking and learning about artificial intelligence. No teaching is happening in artificial intelligence. Teaching has to happen as an outcome of your discussion. So your traditional lesson plan will not work. Your traditional approach of teaching will not work in the classroom. You have to change yourself to teach artificial intelligence. When you look at the book, you will realize what I'm saying. You will agree with me what I'm saying when you go through the book. Because in the book, if some theory is given, how can you teach for the whole period some theory to the students? And when the students are expecting to go to the lab. So this is how it is. We have our channel Edusoft Knowledgeverse, where you can see a lot of videos which will teach you, which will help you actually. I cannot tell the teachers how to teach, which will help you in taking AI sessions in the classroom. We will be doing more sessions in continuation with this session. And I will tell you how to take individual topics in the classroom, how to conduct the activities. And those sessions will really help you in conducting this course. So this is what I meant with artificial intelligence and coding, and how you should go about artificial intelligence. Now, here is the time that whatever I had to speak about this, this is over. I can take up the questions. If any question comes across your mind, please feel free. You can unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Gunjan Gupta from Tagore Public School.
Hello, ma'am. Yeah, tell me, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Actually, we have introduced this year only from class 6.
Right.
AI, I'm talking about.
Okay.
But when we have checked the syllabus, only the consolidated syllabus for classes 6 to 8 has been issued by CBSE. Yeah. And I have checked your books also, and that whole syllabus is given in class 8 book.
Right.
So what should we teach in classes 6 and 7? This is my question.
See, what I suggest here is in class 6 and 7, what Edusoft suggests is that is my idea, that in class 6 and 7 do not teach the students only artificial intelligence. That is not practically possible because they're very small. You make a mix of coding and AI. That's why we have introduced the literature about coding and AI going hand in hand. So you use Scratch, you use a little bit of Python. You can use Python Turtle Library. Python Turtle Library is for kids. You can use Scratch. Teach that also along with artificial intelligence concepts. For example, in class 6, if there are 6 chapters, you keep 3 chapters for AI and you keep 3 chapters for coding. So this approach will help you in involving the kids in artificial intelligence and coding both. And that will be very helpful for them when they move into class 8. Because if we are not teaching them coding at 6 and 7 level, they move into class 8 and suddenly they encounter with Python. They will panic. It will be a very big surprise for them. And many students will get nervous. So at class 6, you start teaching them block coding and Python Turtle Library. So this is what I suggest.
So how many periods do you suggest per week every class should have?
At least 2 periods a week is a must. I have seen certain schools who are doing 1 period a week. That is not justice, because it's a whole gap of 8 days. Students tend to forget. At least there have to be in continuation 2 periods in a week. And if you talk about class 8, CBSE is saying that you should have at least 18 periods. So it's not a very big course. It's not a huge course. You're not going to conduct it for the whole year. You can teach them very easily. You have the time for revision. You have to time for doing a lot of programming. So you go for 18 to 20 periods in an entire session. And accordingly, you set your timetable. But there have to be 2 periods in a week. That is a must.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Ada Kazmi from Tagore Public School.
Hello, Ada ma'am. Yeah, tell me.
The thinking which you were explaining, the importance of as to how to develop thinking among the students, right, so that they do not just base on the books content. So for I have one idea that since in the games period, children come out of the class, so they seems to be very happy and enjoying that part a lot. So during games period, if we can have team-wise competition, and then we can give some topic that they play also, and they tell the teacher that how they think in that game, and we can competition. So this can also develop the thinking to a greater part.
Right. Ma'am, that's a great idea. I would like to elaborate on that a little. There are 2 kinds of activities. One activity is used to introduce and open the topic and carry forward the topic in the classroom. Then there are certain activities which are used for reinforcement. The activities which we do in the very beginning of the chapter in the classroom, those activities are very focused on introducing the concept and explaining the concept. Fine. When we go about reinforcement of learning, that happens after the classroom. After the classroom, we do certain activities so that the students revise and reinforce. For that, your idea is very good. So that will work. That will be more effective if you have already taught the concept and then you bring the students into playground or in some arena where they do some physical movement and doing some stepwise activity. That's a great idea where we can use it to reinforce the concept.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
David, sir, can I add something here itself?
Sure.
In this? Yeah. Sir, we do some classroom engagement techniques. We can use it there also. Like we can tag someone to go next. We can encourage for the various activity participation. We flip the classrooms. These are some of the activities which we are already doing in our classrooms while we are already having AI in our class 9th and 10th. So this kind of activities also we can do it in the schools.
Right.
Yeah, like give the time to respond. Like we can pause it for 1 minute before asking for responses, ask them to write their names, write their responses. This allows them to think of answer and they don't feel like they have been put onto the spot. So yeah, think and talk, like this kind of activities we can, yeah.
Sure, ma'am. Like for example, when you're teaching about artificial intelligence, you're talking about data. So what I suggested, one activity in the classroom, the very first day, you take a glass half filled with water in the classroom. Do not show it to the student. Maybe if you can place it beforehand, and it should be hidden. It should be hidden and it should not be visible to the students. A little bit of glass upper part should be visible, and you ask the students, okay, students, can you tell me whether the glass is fully filled with the water or half filled? How much is it filled? Students will clearly say, ma'am, are you joking? We cannot even look at the glass. How can we tell? So you tell them the importance of data. Unless you have the data, you cannot conclude. And this is how machines do. When machines have the data, they derive conclusion out of it. Then you show them the glass. Now you show them the glass and tell them how much is it filled, how many inches it is filled. And then let the student guess. Ma'am, this is 3 inches. Some backbenchers will be telling you, ma'am, it is 2.5. Somebody will be bringing out the scale and actually measuring. Some learners are there who are accurate. They will bring the scale and give you the accurate measurement. You see the approach. So you tell them, how are you able to tell how much water was filled in the glass? There was some data called volume of the glass and another data value, the volume of the water. And then you subtracted and told us how much water is there in the glass. So this is all based on data. If the same thing is exposed to a machine will be taught into identifying whether the glass is empty, half filled or completely filled. And if such a machine is deployed in an industry, it can judge, it can detect whether the container which is passing out for packing is empty or not. So this is a small example of data, and that is the practical application of it. So this way you can take simple activities and simple discussions. But for that, as I told you, a lot of creativity you have to bring in and a lot of preparation you have to bring in. So you please read first 3 chapters, prepare first 3 chapters of AI before taking the first chapter. So you have to prepare 3 weeks beforehand so that you have ample of time to arrange the activities, think of the activities, greater ideas, and a lot of things to talk to the students in the classroom. So this is from my side to initiate the talks. We'll have more sessions on this. In 1 hour, you cannot be guided into everything. And gradually we have come to the end of this session. And I would like to, first of all, especially thank to Archana ma'am for hosting this event, the Tagore Public School. They are the host of this event, and I thank all the guests who are present here. I'm especially thankful to Zeba ma'am to share her intelligence, her findings, and her golden words, I should say, in this session that really helped us in taking the session forward. So thank you all of you once again. Thank you, Tagore Public School, for giving us this opportunity to conduct this session for you, your teachers, and for everybody here. Thank you.